Yeah, this is a jazz joint.
Air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman, I tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. I feel that air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman, I tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. Take off. I'm on a rocket, a space dog. Bought a new car from Elon, wanna race. I've been asking how long is it gonna take. I've been cracking the code, had to break it safe. I've been writing my wrongs, had to change my ways. I was stuck in one place, so I had to shake. They try holding me down, but I found my way. Riding rich and no bicycle, love me. Ride away, then my heart went on ice again. Find the balance, my patience been going thin. In the field every day till I reach the end. I've been up on your side like we had a bounce. Ain't no way that they think that it's stopping now. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. Air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman, I tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. I feel that air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman, I tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out.
What is up, football fans? This is the Air It Out podcast. My name is Avery. I'm your host, and I'm joined by, two amazing football minds, if I do say so myself. I'm talking about the one and only. Say what's up to the people, Juan.
Peace out, everybody. How y'all doing?
Listen, y'all see Juan. He got the bling on. He's showing that he's a champ. You know what I'm saying?
In
He
the
is the
city.
champion, okay? Repping the city. Repping the city.
Golden State Warriors championship never happened. We're still living in 2021. Man.
I don't know about all that. Steph Curry was absolutely amazing last year. I mean, we can't forget about it.
But let's just say any Boston team can go screw themselves. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, there's that. I mean, and then we've got none other than OG Air It Out podcaster himself, Mr. Chris Thomas. Say what's up to the folks.
What's up, everybody? Pardon the hair and everything else. I literally just got back from the gym just to hop on.
Listen, yo, first of all, I just want to talk about his hair. I can tell that Chris cut his beard, and he probably cut it 2 days ago, and it's already fuller than mine. I'm jealous. That's all I'm saying.
Mine's all patchy, too. I can't fill in those gaps like Chris can.
I mean, mine is all frizzy. Listen, this is the Air It Out podcast brought to you guys by Inside the Hashes. We're talking football, not hair products and whatnot. Listen, we're going to get into today's podcast right now. I'm not even going to waste any time. It's been a while since we've jumped on, guys. I mean, it's been a couple weeks since week 1 of the football season. A lot of moving parts going on in everybody's life. And so it's good to be back. It's good to be back and talk football with you guys. So I don't want to waste any time with that. I want to jump right into it. Okay, so first topic, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there are, I believe, 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL? And one of them is the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are undefeated. Now, here's the thing. The Dolphins have not, smoothed or slid their way into this undefeated 3-0 standing. They have beaten some very, very quality teams. I'm talking about the Baltimore Ravens. I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills just recently. I mean, these are some quality wins against some quality teams. And mind you, that was a comeback win against the Ravens, where Tua ended up throwing for over 600 yards, I believe. Goodness gracious, or something like that, or 6 touchdowns. And I'm like, goodness gracious, he went off. Are the Dolphins for real? That's my question. Are the Dolphins for real? Chris, I'll start with you.
Yes, they are for real. In my preseason rankings, I had them as the 12th or 11th best team in the entire NFL. And listen, this is the first full year that Tua is coming into the season fully healthy. Remember, rookie year, he had to deal with the hip injury. And then, last year he was dealing with that lower body injury. But here's what people need to realize, that it's, in a way, the Jimmy Garoppolo effect. When Tua is on the field, the Dolphins are a better team and they win. Except Tua is actually the reason why they're actually winning these games this year, as opposed to winning in spite of him. You talk about the Baltimore comeback. They were down 21 points. and Tua actually sling the ball, to Tariq Hill and Jalen Waddle. I mean, and not to mention, we don't talk that much about how much Tariq Hill has transformed his offense, even when he's not getting the ball and had, such a pedestrian game against like a team like Buffalo. It opens up the door for guys like Mike Gesicki. It opens up the door for guys like Jalen Waddle to go off. And these are legitimate quality wins against two Super Bowl contenders and, the New England Patriots, who's always a tough matchup as long as, Darth Vader, Bill Belichick is there. So they're legit. Nothing about really personnel-wise has changed outside of Tariq Hill, who has transformed his offense. Tua is healthy, and Mike McDaniels right now is, transformed his offense into, pretty much must-see football. And we're probably going to get another full display of that tonight against Cincinnati. And right now, early pick, Mike McDaniels might be coach of the year.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal to see what they're doing. I'm absolutely loving it. Juan, what are your thoughts? Are the Dolphins for real? Again, 3-0. We're talking about beating Bill Belichick. We're talking about beating the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about beating Josh Allen and the vaunted Buffalo Bills. I mean, the Buffalo Bills at the beginning of the season looked unbeatable. Are the Dolphins for real?
This is not just the spited Jets fan in me talking. It's also the NFL analyst in me. No, the Dolphins are not for real. That 3-0 record is deceptive, ladies and gentlemen. Let me put it this way. That first win against New England Patriots, warranted, given that somehow Miami always beats New England early in the season whenever these two meet up. That second win against Baltimore took a miraculous comeback in a way that no one could have seen coming in week 2. And that third one was incredible luck by Buffalo to not get the spike going down with 9 seconds left on the clock in order to get that last second field goal getting in, all because the wide receiver couldn't step out of bounds. Plus, that secondary was injured to hell and back. If we're really looking at the Dolphins overall as a team, they are middle of the road, to say the least. They're 13th overall in offense, 31st rushing, and their defense is near bottom of the league, allowing 114 yards per game. They're one of the worst teams against the pass and 20th against the rush, and allow 21 points per game. So they have been incredibly skilled in getting these wins up to this point. So I'll give them that. Mike McDaniels, you earned your flowers up to this point, but 2 of these 3 wins have been out of sheer luck and out of sheer will of power. And not to mention for tonight's game against the Bengals, a report came out today that someone had leaked the entire practice of the Miami Dolphins within the University of Cincinnati's stadium. And who knows how Cincinnati could use those tapes. I mean, the Cincinnati Barstool account had them uploaded, and when the university asked for them to take it down, they refused. And this also just feels like a trap game. I feel like the Jets game with the Bengals was a get right game for them, and they're coming out like a cornered animal trying to get free. So if we're going picks early, I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals.
Snap. He went early. Oh, snap. All right. Well, I mean,
all right, Juan, real quick. You talk about the Dolphins being one of the worst against the pass. So is Baltimore. And is that Miami's fault, the fact they took advantage of a really bad Baltimore secondary that should be playing a lot better?
But here's the thing. Like, yeah, you're terrible against the pass, but now you're going up against Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, among others. This is one of the best passing dynamics within the NFL that the Bengals have.
Okay. Also, Juan, you need to realize, you talk about the spike. Let's be real. That Bills-Dolphins game, the Bills nearly ran twice as many offensive plays as the Miami Dolphins, and they still only mustered up 19 points. And we're talking about the Bills possibly being the best offense in all of football, Josh Allen being an MVP candidate, and the Bills being a Super Bowl contender. I'm just saying, listen.
How much can you attribute that to the heat and humidity that was Miami that day, where
it's football. You play in any condition.
We're tired as hell coming out of it. Not to mention incredible luck that the wide receiver didn't get out of bounds for them to spike the clock.
Listen, that's the thing about football. Football, you play in any conditions. Like, listen, like, are we gonna blame the fact that the 49ers are a physical football team, but are we gonna blame extreme weather conditions because the fact that they lost to Chicago?
No, we're gonna blame the fact that Jimmy G stepped out of bounds to end racism.
I mean, so here's my thing, guys. I think you're both right. I think the Dolphins are legit right now, but I think it's too early to tell if they're a legit contender down the road. So I think you're both right. I will not say that any of their wins are luck. That's the one thing I won't say. None of their wins are luck. You stop the guy from getting out of bounds because your defense was set up to stop the guy from getting out of bounds. You were coached. That's good coaching. That's not luck. You were able to make a comeback against the Baltimore Ravens because of good play calling and some bad decisions and exposure by the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens secondary is actually a very slow secondary. They're good, but they're very slow. You got two speedsters on the outside, good play calling. So I won't call it luck. And then obviously the Dolphins, for some reason, will always split with the Patriots in some way, shape, or form. That's just the history of it. Even when Thomas Brady was playing for the Patriots, for some reason, the Dolphins always were able to get at least one against that guy. They very rarely swept the Dolphins. So with that being said, I won't call any of their wins luck, but I will not say that I'm going to crown them as the best team in the NFL. I won't even crown them the best team in the AFC just yet. I still think it is the Buffalo Bills, maybe even the Cincinnati Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do against Cincinnati tonight. A team, as Juan said, who kind of got their feet back under them last week. I think that Cincinnati still has some holes. A lot of hype going into the season because they just came off a Super Bowl appearance and what they did in the playoffs. But it'll be interesting to see tonight. If they can go 4-0, now the tide turns. And that's when I'll start to think. Because let's also remember, Tua is a national champion, right? Like the guy knows how to win football games. He played at Alabama, which is a pro-style offense.
So did Jalen
Hurts. Everybody understands and raves about Tua's accuracy. The knock on him was his arm strength, but we're seeing him sling the ball around the field. He's got amazing weapons, so you don't have to worry about that. So it'll be interesting to see if they can pull this win off tonight and then how they pull it off, right? If they come out and they dominate from the gate, which I think they possibly can because of that defense, it'll be very interesting to see. Tua Hill about to send Eli back. That's facts, Sam. That is facts.
So facts, man. So facts.
Shout out to Sam Kirk. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'm like I said, I'm not ready to crown them the best team in the NFL just yet. But I do think that what they have done is very impressive. And speaking of being impressed, we're going to move into our next topic. And I want to know, what has been the most impressive team for you guys thus far this season? Is it the Dolphins? Is it the Eagles? Is it another team? Who is most impressive to you right now? I'll start with the one and only. Please let me know who's been what team has impressed you, and it doesn't have to be because of the record. It could be for any reason. What's your team? What's your pick?
Very simply, it's been the team that has picked number one overall 2 straight years, the last 2 years, the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, Trevor Lawrence is looking like a bat out of hell, getting out of the shadow that was Urban Meyer during his tumultuous tenure in Jacksonville. So far in his 3 games, near 70% completion percentage, a 6 touchdown to 1 interception ratio. Remember last year, he had only scored 1 touchdown in a 10-game span, so it's a huge step forward for him. Doug Peterson has been a godsend for the development of Trevor Lawrence. The team overall, top 10 in nearly every category you can think of. They're number 6 in offense, 7th on defense, and their rookie studs have been amazing. Devin Lloyd has been named defensive rookie of the month because he had 2 picks, 24 tackles, and 6 pass deflections. He's looking like an early defensive rookie of the year candidate, as is Trayvon Walker, the number 1 overall pick from this year, 1 sack and a pick in the season opener against Carson Wentz, as well as 2 QB hits, 8 tackles, and 2 pass deflections. It's been an improvement all across the board. Many people mocked the Christian Kirk payment by saying it opened the floodgates for the wide receiver market has not been a bad investment on their end. It has actually been a decent weapon, especially on crossing routes for Trevor Lawrence. Plus that 1-2 running back combo between Travis Etienne and James Robinson, outstanding, especially on James Robinson's front. Travis Etienne still trying to get his feet wet under him. Remember, he tore his ACL in the preseason last year, so he'll develop into a weapon more down the line. But yeah, Jacksonville, a threat in the AFC. I have them taking the AFC South this year.
I like it. Chris, who's been the most impressive team in the NFL for you, in your opinion, thus far? 3 weeks.
To me, it's a tie, and it's 2 teams in the AFC North. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll start off with the Cleveland Browns. You have your quarterback that's being suspended for the first 11 games of the season, and the fact that Jacoby Brissett has been able to come in and just not rock the boat at all, just be able to give it all to Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Amari Cooper is still showing that he is a top 10 route runner in this league and a top echelon receiver in this league. David Njoku has definitely been, rebirthed and showing his full potential as a pass-catching tight end. And their defense. I mean, we talk about, Cleveland being one of the more talented rosters in the league, and this 2-1 start is definitely a good start for them, because if you can maintain a potential 7-5 or 6-5 or 7-4 record with Deshaun Watson coming back for the last 5 games, that's a playoff team, and they could potentially win the North. And as far as Baltimore is concerned, Baltimore is going to keep regretting not paying Lamar Jackson at the right time, because he's got 12 touchdowns, and he's got the most touchdowns out of nearly pretty much every single team in the league has scored less touchdowns than Lamar Jackson combined outside of Detroit's. So when it comes time to be in the offseason and pay him, that price is going to be way too much more than what they bargained for, originally trying to, lock up Lamar Jackson. And that's without a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. And even the pass yards aren't where they need to be, but he's still effective. And more importantly, you're seeing a different Lamar Jackson this year. He's staying in the pocket. He's making accurate throws. And it just looks – listen, the ball gets to Mark Andrews when it needs to get there, man. Listen, I just can only imagine if he's in an offense in which he got a T. Higgins or a Jamar Chase like Joe Burrow or Keenan Allen and Mike Williams like Justin Herbert. Trust me, if any other quarterback was getting, the results like Lamar Jackson would, everybody would be raving about him. But, Lamar Jackson is still one of the most disrespected quarterbacks the league has had over the last 5 years. So it's not really that much of a big deal to the consensus audience.
I can't agree there. I don't think he's getting disrespected for incorrect reasons, right? It'd be one thing if they were talking outlandishly. The knock on Lamar has been consistently his passing acumen. It's not that he can't throw the football. It's not that he doesn't have a big arm. It's not that he can't get the ball down the field. It's not that he doesn't make proper reads. It's his accuracy, right? His throwing of the football. And so when you said accurate, I'm like, no, he's got really talented weapons that if you put it in their area, he knows how to get the ball to their area.
You can make the same argument about Tua, though, with having Tyreek and Jalen Waddle there. His always been an issue, and yet still people are raving up about him being like this top 10 quarterback so far.
I can't say the same about Tua because the knock on him was never his accuracy; it was his arm strength. So we're talking about 2 separate things, right? Tua arm strength, which Steve Young has come out many times and many more times and said accuracy over arm strength. And then you've got Lamar, who's got the cannon, but the accuracy is inconsistent. I mean, we saw on a throw in the flat where Mark Andrews had to catch it with one hand. It was a phenomenal catch, but it should have been a routine catch in rhythm, right? A lot of the passes are inaccurate. They're just in the vicinity of very talented individuals. So I can't say that, but Lamar is absolutely phenomenal. So I don't think they're disrespecting him. I think they're just critiquing his game for what it is, right? He's a phenomenal football player, but when it comes to throwing the football, he could be better. For me, I think the most impressive team, if I had to go, I'm going to go with 3. And the first 2, you're going to be like, what? The first one I'm going to say is the Seattle Seahawks. I was not expecting, I know they're 1-2, right? I was not expecting this team to be as competitive, though. I thought they were actually going to get smoked by the Broncos, and they won that football game. And then they competed each week after that. Ended up losing to the 0-2 Falcons, but it was again a battle all the way until the end of the game. So I was very impressed with what I'm seeing from Geno Smith. He knows this offense. He's controlling this offense. He's not turning the ball over a lot. He's doing a decent job. I was very impressed, and I've been very impressed with the Seattle Seahawks team. Number two, I'm going to say, is the team that they just lost to, and that's the Falcons. And I know they just got their first win, but I've been very impressed with, one, their defense. Our defense is top 15 in the league, which is shocking to me. And then number two, we're the only team in the NFL outside of, I think there's maybe one more, that scored at least 26 points in every single game this season, which to me, I'm just impressed with, wait, Mariota, you're actually putting the ball in the end zone. That to me is shocking and impressive, because I thought we were going to be absolute trash truck juice. Now, we're still not good. I still don't think we're good, but I've just been impressed with where we are, and I'm starting to see the turn. But the number one team that's been most impressive to me, without question, is the New York Football Giants. I was not foreseeing a 2-0 start, and they were obviously very competitive on Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, there are a couple really boneheaded plays away by the receivers from actually winning that football game. I mean, you're talking about drops. You're talking about fumbles. Daniel Jones is doing his job. Saquon Barkley is back, just like I said he would be when most people thought I was absolutely crazy. And he's leading the NFL, as a matter of fact, in scrimmage yards with 408. And so the New York Football Giants have been very, very impressive to me this week. And I'm very, very happy to see that football in New York as a whole is playing competitive football. The Jets, they look good. I mean, again, the record isn't indicative of it, but they're competing. And this has been a good season so far. So I'll say the most impressive team to me so far has been the New York Football Giants. They've been playing very well. Juan.
I will say that with regards to Cleveland, the one time you don't want to root for them, they're actually doing pretty good. More like it's weird, but kudos to Kevin Stefanski for bringing this team together and running it the way that he's been wanting to run it. A dominant rushing game with a complementary passing style and defense that's hit you in the face, unforgiving. I will say Denzel Ward has taken a bit of a step back ever since he signed his contract, but that should improve as the season goes forward.
Well, I think he's coming off the injury and he's kind of just being a little rust. I think he's going to knock it off. Same situation with AJ Terrell the first 2 weeks. A little bit of rust, and then he went up against DK and was like, all right, let me lock this thing in here. And kind of had to knock the dust off a little bit. And then the honorable mention, I will say, is the Dallas Cowboys. Cooper Rush is undefeated as a starting quarterback in the NFL. That is absolutely mind-boggling. I thought the Cowboys would probably at least lose one of those games, and they've actually been undefeated since Dakota Prescott has went down. Chris and then Juan, last word.
No, I really have nothing to say.
Oh, okay, well, Juan.
If Dak Prescott does come back, do you start him or do you keep Cooper Rush if he keeps his winning streak going?
You absolutely start Dak Prescott. You're paying him a ton of money, number one.
But they did the same thing with Drew Bledsoe, and Tom Brady still kept going.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying Cooper Rush is Tom Brady,
but let's
right with the hand inside.
Let's also remember the teams that the Cowboys have faced in this time. As much as of an impressive streak it is, it's been the New York Giants.
Who you just said who was one of the most improved teams in the league.
Again, do not. I said impressive. I didn't say improved. I said most impressive. But they beat the New York Football Giants, who, again, their offensive line is still pretty bad. That's why it's impressive, because they're winning in spite of. And then they beat a Cincinnati Bengals team who, again, were just kind of getting their feet together and getting their feet under them. So, and they I mean, think about it. No offense, but the Bengals' only win this season is against the Jets, right? So can we say the Bengals are even a good team at this point? So, I mean, I'm not trying to knock the Cowboys here or Cooper Rush in this regard, but we're talking Dak Prescott, and the team is paying him, and the team is built around him. So I'm starting Dak.
Paying quarterbacks really don't mean much. Listen, I'm just saying if Cooper Rush keeps winning and Dak Prescott comes back and there's a slight little bit of struggle, you might see another Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation.
Absolutely. Listen, absolutely. If he struggles, then I mean it's a no-brainer. But I mean, Dak didn't really. I mean, you're talking about the first game against one of the best teams in the NFL in the Buccaneers, and they held it down for the most part. They were battling that entire game. I think one touchdown was scored that entire game. And that was the difference in the game. They were battling the entire game. So everybody keeps knocking Dak for that game. I'm like, but look at what Tom Brady did. Tom Brady wasn't off the charts either. It was literally a battle the entire game, and then he gets hurt. So with that being said, I mean, we don't know. He might have blown out these teams as well. We have no clue. So I just don't know. And for me, because he's the franchise quarterback, you absolutely put him back in the lineup. You're paying him all that money. And now if he starts to struggle, then I can see a case being made, but I still don't think it'll happen. I just don't think it'll happen. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on. And we're going to jump right into the game picks, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we haven't been on, but we have been keeping up with our game picks, all right? So I want to give you guys an update on the standings, all right? First of all, I just want to say that Darius last week saved you because, you started off horribly. I mean, his first week, he was 5-10-1. That was horrible. Anyway, long story short, last place, though, is not Darius. Last place is Darren at 19-28-1. 19-28-1. Yeah, that's we just gonna leave that there, okay? In third place is Darius at 22-25-1. And then in third place, drum roll, please. Second place. The one and only at 24-23-1. And then you know it, it's your boy. It's your boy in first place. 26-22-1. Sorry. You know what I mean? That's what I do. That's all I'm saying. So it is I
mean, technically I have a 500 record since I'm not picking. So
anywho, I'm just saying your boy is out here. So we're gonna get to the game picks. And well, I mean, Chris, if you want to give your game picks, by all means, shoot them off really quick, but you only get one explanation. Only one explanation. You can only explain your one pick, and then we'll get it going.
All right. I'm going to need your help. Can you just rattle off the games for me for week 4?
Yes, I can. Week 4, starting with tonight, the Dolphins at the Bengals.
I'm going to go Cincinnati. It's a must-win for Cincinnati, and with Tua being on the injury report this week, I think this is a bad sign. I think this is a time for Cincinnati to get back on track and pop them off and get a win.
All right, that is your one explanation. That is it. No more explanations. Now you pick winners. All right, so Browns versus the Falcons.
Browns.
Vikings versus the Saints.
Vikings.
Commanders versus the Cowboys.
Commanders.
Seahawks versus the Lions.
The Lions.
Titans versus the Colts.
Tennessee. This is the worst division of football, man.
Bears versus the Giants.
Sorry, Justin. I got to go with the Giants.
All right. Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles.
Jets versus the Steelers.
You know what? Give me the Jets.
All right.
Thomas, believe.
All right.
Believe.
Bills versus the Ravens.
Bills.
Game of the week right there, baby. Chargers versus the Texans.
Give me Houston with the upset.
Oh, wow. Cardinals versus the Panthers.
Cardinals by default.
Patriots versus Packers.
Packers.
Broncos versus the Raiders.
Broncos.
All right. And last but not least, actually, nope. We got two more. Chiefs versus Bucks.
Chiefs.
And last but not least, Rams at the 49ers.
Rams.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. It is your turn. Give me your game picks. Let's get it. Well, we already know what you're picking tonight. Got the Bengals.
Ring of power on, y'all.
Okay.
Going with we're going with the Bengals, obviously. Minnesota at New Orleans. Give me the Saints on that one because it's in London, and we both know that freaking Kirk Cousins has astigmatism on the primetime lights. Then we got Cleveland at Atlanta. I'm going with the Browns. Washington at Dallas. Give me Dallas. Detroit hosting the Seahawks. I'm going with Detroit. Tennessee at the Colts. I'll be going with Tennessee. Chicago at New York Giants. Give me the Giants. Jacksonville at Philadelphia. Oh, I had a hard time with this one, but give me the Eagles because I just think it's not going to roll with Trevor Lawrence here. New York Jets at Pittsburgh. Give me my Jets, baby. Buffalo at Baltimore. I'm rolling with Baltimore because there's just too many injuries for the Bills to go through. Chargers at Houston. Give me the Chargers. Arizona at Carolina. Arizona. Green Bay hosting New Orleans. I have to pick Green Bay in this situation, but I'd pick them anyways. Denver at Las Vegas. Calling for the upset. Give me the Raiders, baby. And then Kansas City hosting Tampa Bay, which might be played in Minnesota because of the hurricane. Stay safe out there, y'all. I'm gonna roll.
They're playing in Tampa. It's confirmed.
Okay, so then it's Tampa. I'm rolling with Tampa on that one. And then Los Angeles at San Francisco. I'm going with the 49ers because Kyle Shanahan has always had Sean McVay's number in these games, and it's going to happen here too.
All right. I like it. Not mad at all. All right, so I'm getting to my game picks here. Starting with tonight, Dolphins at the Bengals. I think the Dolphins do it. I think they stay undefeated tonight. And I'm going to give them the win. Dolphins. Browns versus the Falcons. Come on, man. I got to go with my boys, man. We just got to win. You know what I'm saying?
Start Desmond Ritter.
Hey, well,
do it, you coward.
Like I said, Mariota has 26 points per game. He's the only team in the NFL to do that. So, Vikings versus the Saints. Give me the Vikings. Commanders versus the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. Seahawks versus the Lions. Give me the Lions. Titans versus the Colts. Give me the Colts in the upset. I think they're going to bounce back. Bears versus the Giants. Give me the Giants, man. I like it. Jaguars versus the Eagles. Keep rolling, Philly. Jets versus the Steelers. Give me Steelers at home. Bills versus the Ravens. This is my explanation. I can't choose. I mean, the Bills, they have a ton of injuries, of course, right? And so we're not sure how they're going to overcome some of those injuries. But at the same time, the secondary of the Ravens is kind of shaky. Good names, but again, just kind of shaky. I think Kyle Hamilton is finally coming into his own, though. And I'm not sure if the Bills can stop Lamar. He's just on a tear right now. He's seeing the field well. Mark Andrews is all over the place. And the Ravens at home. I'm gonna go with the Ravens, man. But it's gonna be a close one. I would not be surprised if the Bills take it. Chargers versus the Texans. Give me the Thunderbolts. Cardinals versus the Panthers is another tough one, but I'll go with the Cardinals. Patriots versus the Packers. Give me the Packers. Broncos versus the Raiders. Broncos versus the Raiders. Give me the Broncos. Chiefs versus the Bucks. Give me the Chiefs. Rams versus the 49ers. Give me the Rams. Question, is Darius Leonard still out?
Shaquille Leonard. And
no. Is Darius Leonard still out? Linebacker from the Colts.
Yeah, he goes by Shaquille now.
What? When did he change his name?
Like way before the season started. He goes by
Oh, why did he change his name?
because that's his real name. Darius is his middle name.
Man, boy, I tell you some. Listen, you find out some stuff, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Boy,
He's still out. He's still out.
Wow. Okay, so with that being said, I might change my Colts Titans pick, but we will see. All right. With that being said, Chris, did you want to give your hot takes real quick?
Hot take.
No, you gotta go. But it's hot Thursday.
Their hot take. Let's see.
Take your time.
There's only going to be one touchdown score between the 49ers and the Rams in the primetime game.
Who's going to score it?
Obviously, Cooper Kupp.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Lovers would hate
I
you.
love it. Chris, thank you for jumping on. We know you got to hop off. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. All right, Juan, hot takes, and we out of here.
Okay.
One hot take.
I only got the one hot take. All four receivers for all four star receivers for the Bengals and the Dolphins will each have 100 yards and a touchdown tonight. So that means T. Higgins, that means Jamar Chase, that means Jalen Waddle, that means Tyreek Hill.
I'm not even going to give a hot take after that. That was absolutely phenomenal. I love that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Air It Out podcast brought to you by Inside the Hashes. And please do me a favor, follow us on all your social media platforms. That means follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Inside the Hashes. Follow us on Twitter at Inside Hashes. And please do me a favor. Go check out the website. That's www.insidethehashes.com. And you'll get all of the content right there. I mean, literally get player interviews, blogs, and podcasts, and all those different things. But also go to YouTube, hit the like button, turn on that notification button, and please subscribe. Do not forget to subscribe. Now, I know you're wondering, but here's the thing. You can literally scan this QR code right at the top and get all of that stuff right there for you. For Juan, the one and only. My name is Avery. This has been the Air It Out podcast. Dad, truly appreciate you. Thank you for jumping on. And here's the thing. The Colts will win if Matt Ryan learns to
stay. He won't. Look, Matt Ryan
is needs to just stop passing the football. That's why the team has got 1-1 because he passes the football.